Now that I know that there's 2 vehicles that followed me, as well as now that I know that they know I'm headed to Salt Lake City, because that officer is clearly running back and telling the dirty Stanford police. I felt not only was my priority to make sure to try to do whatever I could to lose my tail at that point. My other thought was, well, I don't want to drive all the way to Salt Lake now. They know that I'm at the Corsicana police station. They didn't send the same red cars after me after I left that police station, obviously. But I was like, I don't want to drive to Salt Lake. At this point, I still thought my life would be at risk if I was driving at night being followed by multiple cars. Anyone in my position would think the same, right? So I was like, okay, I have to switch up the plan here. I'm not going to just do, now that they know I'm headed to Salt Lake, because my whole point, the fact that I just gave that, okay, let's think about this, right? I just went and reported a stalking. 2 instances of stalking. I told him exactly how I knew I was being stalked. I told him that they took the bait when I went and stopped at the gas station. He followed me there, and that he followed me on the frontage road. So I already knew I was being stalked, and he did nothing about it. Well, so that strengthens my whole feeling that, like, I'm kind of on my own in this. Not a political agenda on my part, literally just the truth that I just reported stalking. Even if the Corsicana officer couldn't have done anything about the rape, kind of understandably, because it was, different jurisdictions and everything, the fact that I was being stalked in Corsicana was within his jurisdiction, and he could have done something about it, and he didn't. So I went and drove to a gas station from the Corsicana Police Department, sat in my car for a few minutes, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I saw a truck that had been parked at a certain point on my route to that gas station. That gas station would have been on the way to me driving all the way to Salt Lake City, but when I was sitting at that gas station, I said, I'm not going to drive to Salt Lake City right now because it'll involve night driving. Obviously I already felt like I shouldn't stop and sleep anywhere. But I also didn't even want to night drive at that point. I turned back around. That truck that I had seen pulled off behind me. The truck that I had seen when I was going to the gas station pulled off behind me when I left the gas station and went in the other direction. When I was sitting at that gas station, I said, okay, I'm not going to go to Salt Lake City. What am I going to do? Where am I safe? Because I still felt that my life was at risk because of the amount of people following me, and now the fact that I've just confirmed that there's definitely dirty police involved in this just confirms to me how powerful this syndicate is. So I said, okay, where am I safe? So I said, okay, I'm going to find the closest major city, and I'm going to go to the airport. I said to myself, I feel like I'm safe at the airport. I still had money in my pocket. I said, okay, since my concern right now is being shot, I'm going to drive to the airport in Dallas, and I'm going to buy a plane ticket and fly to Salt Lake City. So I drove to the airport, however many hours that took, right? I don't remember. It was still daytime. Drove to the airport, got my flight through Spirit, got my flight through Spirit to Salt Lake City, parked my car in the parking lot, and walked into the airport. Went through TSA at the airport. It was still daytime. It was going to be a few hours until the flight was going to leave, and I was just sitting in the terminal, whatever. Okay, well, once I was in the terminal, there was a black female who pointed her camera at me, pointed her camera in her phone, on her phone at me. She was sitting in the terminal as well, a different part, but had already gone through TSA. Then I moved and sat, of course, sorry about the noise, y'all. Of course, at that point, yeah, I'm paying attention to my surroundings because I've deduced how many people are involved in this, and it's a lot. So I, went and sat down somewhere else in the terminal. A white man came and sat down next to me. He was on a phone video chatting, in Spanish. Whatever, he's just video chatting in Spanish. He did specifically come and sit down right next to me after I had sat down there. But then as I got up to go to the bathroom or something, he took a picture of me. So that's 2 people that I know for sure were sent into that airport. Now, it took me a few minutes. I did my due diligence when it came to the black female, because at first I wasn't sure if she had taken the picture of me. But even if I wasn't 100% sure about her, she definitely pointed her camera at me, for sure. Even if I wasn't 100% sure about her, the fact that that white male came and sat down right next to me and definitely took a picture of me told me, okay, up to this point, nobody had taken a picture of me except for Gil. But by this time, I'm already putting patterns together, right? Like, these people clearly take pictures of their victims. So, and of course, everyone's first thought would be, no way they would send 2 people into an airport, which means that they would have had to pay for... I had already gone through TSA, so it means they would have already had to pay for tickets. I'm trying to remember if I had already gone through TSA. I think I had. Yeah, so it means that they had already paid for tickets. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm telling the truth, okay? I'm a human being, and unfortunately I've had to gather all this information myself, so bear with me. Of course, any normal person, myself included, even knowing how big it was to that point, of course I was still thinking, there's no way they would pay for 2 tickets that quickly and pay for a whole ticket just to follow me. Oh, but they did. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I see, okay, not only are there multiple people involved in this, but it's not just Stanford specific. Well, not only that it wasn't just Stanford specific. I mean, I knew it wasn't just Stanford specific because I had already been followed through those other states throughout this. But it told me a really important piece of information, which is that these people have a lot of money. So like up to this point, I already knew that they had a lot of connections. Otherwise, you know, they wouldn't have followed me in Georgia and North Carolina and what have you. But I went back to the source and they were still willing to pay that much money just to follow me. That's really significant, because the research I had done up to this point of sex trafficking, which was really just once this all started, was, you know, they're looking to make money. It's about an output to them. It's about an economic output for them. So why would they pay hundreds of dollars to buy plane tickets? Like, there's no way that whatever money they made off the rape covers that, right? Like, there's no way. So to me, it signified something larger at work here. You know, not wanting to believe it doesn't change the fact that I already knew for a fact that that man had taken a picture of me, and that black female had almost certainly taken a picture of me as well. So because my plan was still to lose my tail, because at that point I said, okay, they don't have a tracking device on my vehicle, or they wouldn't be sending this many people after me to try to keep eyes on me. I still felt I had a chance to lose my tail. So once he took that picture of me, I said, I'm not going to take this flight because it defeats the whole purpose of losing my tail, right? Anyone in my position would want to take whatever measures they could to not be stalked, especially if they feel like they have the chance, because it's clear these people are going to stalk me as much as they can. So let me go ahead and try to take this advantage of them not having a tracking device on my vehicle right now to get away.